I do not own Naruto or Lucifer. Chapter 30. Orochimaru's glare intensifies further, his serpentine eyes narrowing at the audacity emanating from the boy. You dare mock me, brat. You have no idea what kind of wrath you've just unleashed. His voice slithers like venom, dark and threatening.
Naruto doesn't flinch. Instead, his grin deepens, adding an edge of mischief. Oh, I know exactly what I've unleashed. You think the Kyuubi's chakra is the only thing you need to worry about. His tone is laced with confidence, as if he's holding cards Orochimaru cannot fathom. Silence hangs heavy for a moment, broken only by the sound of distant rustling leaves, a faint whisper of approaching chaos. Then, Orochimaru questions again, his patience fraying. Who are Trixie, Maze, and Sakumo? Are they mere mortals you think can stop me? Naruto shrugs, the movement casual, almost dismissive. Mere mortals? Not quite. Let's just say they're uniquely qualified to deal with someone like you. And trust me, Orochimaru, you'll find out soon enough. His cerulean eyes flash with a mixture of excitement and danger.
From somewhere deep in the forest, an ominous echo of footsteps begins to sound. A rhythm announcing the arrival of forces Orochimaru had not anticipated. The game was about to take a turn, a twist written in chaos and fate. A howl echoes through the forest of death, low and resonant, carrying a primal menace that sends shivers down the spine of all who hear it. Naruto's grin widens, his expression now one of satisfaction mingled with anticipation. The sound comes from not far, a harbinger of strength and resolve that makes Orochimaru instinctively step back, his serpentine confidence wavering for the first time. That, Naruto says, his voice tinged with a dark chuckle, would be my uncle Sakumo, one of the demon trio. He delivers the words with a tone of finality, as though the mere mention of Sakumo's name is enough to change the trajectory of the battle entirely. Ino and Shika, standing nearby, exchange a look of relief at this revelation, their collective sighs almost audible. The tension in their shoulders loosens slightly, the arrival of someone formidable on their side a much-needed reassurance. However, the reaction is entirely different for Sakura, Sasuke, and Kiba. Sakura clutches Sasuke tightly, her knuckles pale against the fabric of his shirt, as though she can anchor herself to safety through sheer proximity. Sasuke himself glances toward the surrounding shadows, his Sharingan eyes scanning for threats that seem to multiply with each passing second. Kiba growls, Akamaru by his side, both tense and ready for whatever hell might be unleashed.
The rustling of leaves grows louder, the footsteps heavier. The oppressive atmosphere thickens, and somewhere in the distance, the faint glint of steel catches the daylight fleeting promise of power. Orochimaru narrows his eyes but says nothing, his mind calculating the implications of this newfound adversary.
Naruto, unbothered by the unease of his comrades or the silent scrutiny of his foe, steps forward, his confidence undiminished. Oh, Orochimaru, you were worried about the Kyuubi's chakra. You've got bigger problems now. Welcome to a whole new level of chaos. His grin is sharp, almost wolfish, as the howl echoes once more chillingly prelude to the arrival of the demon trio's fury.
The werewolf's imposing frame towered over the clearing, muscles rippling beneath its silver fur, which gleamed faintly in the shards of sunlight filtering through the canopy. Sakumo's glowing yellow eyes bore into Orochimaru with an intensity that seemed to peel away layers of the snake Sanin's mask of arrogance. The genin froze, their breath hitching as they witnessed the raw dominance radiating from the beast's every movement.
Did you think that your schemes would remain unchecked forever? Sakumo continued, his voice rumbled a low rumble that seemed to resonate with the very earth beneath their feet. You may slither in shadows, Orochimaru, but even shadows cannot escape the moonlight. Orochimaru's lips curled into a sneer, though a flicker of unease betrayed him. The demon trio? I had hoped you were nothing more than whispers of old legends. But it seems the tales underestimated your persistence. Sakumo took a deliberate step forward, the massive claws of his paws sinking into the ground with a weight that spoke of unrelenting power. The tension in the clearing was suffocating, each breath heavy with anticipation. The rustling of leaves and distant echoes of movement hinted that the other members of the demon trio were not far behind.
Naruto, emboldened by his uncle's presence, smirked and turned his attention to his companions. "Well," he said, his voice cutting through the charged silence, "I think it's safe to say the playing field just got a whole lot more interesting."
The arrival of Sakuma was a significant change, and Orochimaru knew it. His calculating eyes darted to the edges of the forest, searching for an escape route. But the forest seemed to conspire against him, every shadow an accomplice to the werewolf's looming threat. Sakuma's chuckle was deep and dark, reverberating through the clearing. "You've underestimated us for the last time, Orochimaru. The hunt begins now."
With a sudden burst of motion, Sakuma lunged forward, his powerful form cutting through the air. Orochimaru barely managed to evade, retreating with a hiss as he readied himself for what promised to be an unprecedented battle. The genin scattered, their training kicking in, each scrambling to secure a vantage point or prepare for the chaos about to unfold.
The forest seemed alive now, the howl of another beast piercing the air, chilling announcement that Sakuma was not alone. The demon trio was assembling, and Orochimaru realized far too late that he had underestimated the fury that awaited him. Orochimaru twisted sharply, narrowly avoiding the swipe of Sakumo's claws that carved deep furrows into the earth. His retreat was cut short as four figures emerged from the shadows of the towering trees. Trixie, Maze, Anko, and the lone Ambu stepped into the clearing with an air of confidence that made Orochimaru's calculating sneer falter for a brief moment.
Trixie's black hair swayed as she walked toward Naruto, her sharp eyes scanning the genin scattered across the battlefield. "Are you all right?" she asked, her voice steady but edged with concern.
Naruto's brows furrowed slightly as he nodded. "Yeah, I'm fine. The damned snake tried to mark me with some strange seal, but I dodged it by the skin of my teeth." Despite his words, there was a trace of worry in his tone. He knew the snake Sannin wouldn't retreat so easily. Trixie's gaze hardened as she looked back toward Orochimaru, watching his movements with the precision of a hawk tracking its prey. Meanwhile, Maze and Anko took defensive positions on either side of the clearing, their presence an unspoken declaration of loyalty to the demon trio's cause. The lone Ambu remained silent, but the glint of their katana spoke louder than words, promising swift retaliation should Orochimaru attempt anything further. The clearing crackled with tension as Sakumo's glowing yellow eyes narrowed, his massive frame shifting slightly as he prepared for the next strike. The forest, as if sensing the inevitable clash, grew eerily quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves and distant animal calls. Orochimaru hissed lowly, his lips curling into a sinister grin as his mind raced through potential countermeasures. He was cornered, but the snake Sannin was never without venom.
Naruto's fingers twitched as he felt the weight of the moment pressing down on them. "This isn't going to end well for him, is it?" he muttered, barely audible enough for Trixie to hear.
She smirked faintly, her confidence bolstered by the strength surrounding her. "Not if we have anything to say about it." The atmosphere shifted as Sakumo's dark chuckle echoed once more. The hunt wasn't just beginning, it was becoming a storm that promised to consume Orochimaru in its fury. Chapter 31. Orochimaru dodges Sakuma once more, narrowing his yellow eyes at the werewolf that is hunting him. He let out a hiss at the werewolf. "Bastard!" he growled out at him. Sakuma grinned, looking at the man before him. "I know I'm a bastard. But this bastard is going to end you here and now, Orochimaru. I should have done it once we knew you were showing signs of defecting back then." He growls out and he snaps his mighty jaws at him. Orochimaru jumps back as it finally clicks in his head. "Sakumo hata," he said, with shock written across his face. As he jumps back once more from the werewolf, as he looks around from the corner of his right eye. "I need to get out of here," he thought to himself.
"Don't think about it," said Trixie as she saw the look in the Sannin's eyes. "I know you are looking for a way out." She told him a black flaming sword appears in her right hand.
He hisses at the child Jonin for blocking one of his way out of the clearing. He bite his lip as blood tricked out as he could only think of one way out of this trap. Blood trickles down his lip as he takes his left thumb, rubbing it over his lip, and moves his hand down to his right forearm, where a summoning tattoo lay hidden. Using the blood he had taken from his mouth, he rubs it across the tattoo, summoning jutsu. He said calmly, as smoke appears before him and a massive snake wraps around him. "Get me out of here." "Yes, master," said the snake summons as they go up in a poof of smoke, leaving only smoke in their wake. Sakumo growls at the spot where Orochimaru once stood. "Bastard got away," he growls out. Naruto fell to his right knee once the snake bastard was gone. "Let's get out of here," he said, looking at Ino and Shika. "Can you travel?" Shika asked him as she looked down at him with worry in her chocolate brown eyes. As she looks him over, making sure he is all right. "Yeah, I'm all right. I can travel. We need to move, as if we stay here the more time we lose, and the more time we lose on rest at the tower," Naruto tells her with a soft smile as he pushes himself back up to his feet. Naruto turns to look at Anko. "We are still able to take part in the exams?" he asks as Anko and the others had to step in because of the snake pedo. "This doesn't affect you whatsoever. You are still taking part in the exam," Anko told him as he let out a sigh of relief.
Naruto nodded his head as he looked over at Sasuke and his team. "I would recommend you find the second scroll you need and make your way to the tower. For we are leaving," he told them. Ino and Shikamaru stood at either side of him and they jumped on a tree branch away from them, and with that they took off. They had done their good deed for the day.
Several hours had passed when they saw the clearing, where the lone tower stood strong. Naruto looked around using his sensory skill, and he stretched it out, feeling for anyone nearby. "There is a team about a mile away. If we move quickly, we can slip past them," he told the girls as they nodded their heads, and they took off running. Once at the tower, they found a door with their gate number and entered. They looked at the scrolls hanging on the wall. Naruto frowned at them as he knew what it meant. "Here, give me the scrolls," he told the girls. They pulled them from their pouches and handed them over as Naruto broke the seals and threw them onto the ground. Smoke came from the two scrolls that crossed over each other, and there before them was Trixie. She stood before them with a smile on her face. "Hey, brat! You made it?" she said with an innocent grin on her face. "Yeah, we made it, and I'm starving," Naruto told her with his stomach growling.
"There is a cafeteria just up the hall, and on the second floor there are rooms with 3 beds. Within each room," she told them with a smile as she knew she is able to trust them, with each of them sharing one room. They nodded their heads and walked to the door at the end of the room and opened the door. Entering the hallway, Naruto followed his nose to the cafeteria. "I do hope they have ramen," he told the girls with a grin on his face as Shika let out a troublesome and Ino just giggled at his antics.